Well, it's finally game day. It feels like we've been here for a long time, almost like a playoff series where you're in town for a few days before the actual game. Raptors came to Orlando hoping to get some warm weather, but nix on that as the temperatures have been single digits on the Celsius scale. Actually, nothing probably above 6 or 7 all week.
That's why we're inside today. We've been outside for every other vlog so far, but it is too damn cold. And I know most of you people watching in the Toronto GTA area, it's like minus 20 with the wind chill, whatever, but trust me, it's cold. Relatively speaking, it's cold. And people here, like we're saying it's cold, and that's why we're inside, because like 5, 7 degrees Celsius, that's cold. That's cold, especially when you're expecting 15, 20. But the locals here, we're
in Siberia.
Oh, absolutely. This is like, the world is ending. The world is ending in Florida right now, in Orlando. People are walking around with the toques on, the gloves on, the big parkas. They're
wind chill, cover exposed skin.
Yeah, we said that yesterday. They still had it last night again on the television, the little ticker across the bottom. If you have to go outside, please cover all exposed skin. Skin. Give me a break. Come on.
All right. Well, let's hope.
You want to keep talking weather?
No. Let's hope in a way. Let's hope the Orlando Magic are as cold as the weather right now, because they've lost. They're on a brutal schedule, part of their schedule, where they've got 4 sets of back-to-backs, 8 games in something like 13 or 14 days. This is the second such set against the Raptors tonight. Schedules flipped a bit. Toronto had a lot of these early. They're sitting here waiting. We actually ended up in a bar last night watching the World Junior Hockey Championships with the Raptors coaching staff who were watching Orlando and Indiana. And it was interesting to see how when the basketball game ended, the dynamic shifted to the hockey, and people who didn't care about hockey were into the USA.
Mark Ivoroni and Alex English were fist pumping when USA won, and they were all dying with the meltdown by the U.S. late in regulation with those 2 goals. But then when they won in overtime, guys are high-fiving Ivoroni and English. Everybody's like big loving for the U.S. But
they did their work, and Mark Ivoroni had the.
Well, they were there because of the Orlando game, period. And there were papers all over the table, scouting reports and everything else. So there's no doubt that the work got in. And they. One of the things Jay Triano actually said today, Jonesy, at Shooter, and I know you were busy chatting with Jose Calderon, and you can hear that one-on-one on the Fan 590. I believe it's on fan590.com, and if it's not, I'll make sure it gets on there. But Triano was saying that while they were watching last night, he said, I actually wish they had a better game, because you're always scared of that wounded animal that comes. He said a wounded animal either dies, i.e. the Magic come in and fall apart again tonight, and the Raptors get the win, back. Or a wounded animal fights back with even more grit and fire and intensity because it's trying to survive, and that's like the Magic. So he said, it kind of scares me going into this game.
Well, you look at Dwight Howard had a really, really subpar performance last night. Roy Hibbert took it at him, career high for Hibbert. Had Dwight Howard in foul trouble, 3 at the end of the first half, and a quick one, his 4th, probably less than a minute into the third quarter. So that's a key. Dwight Howard is always a key, and Jay Triano kind of led us into his game plan a little bit. He's going to change. I know people have been calling us on postgame saying, why don't you guard the 3-point shooters? Well, they looked at video from last year and saw that in the 2 games they beat Orlando last year, Howard had big games. Not that they let him go off, but they made him a scorer, and they took away the perimeter guys around him that really hurt them with threes. Orlando, number 1 in the NBA, making about 10, 11 three-pointers a game. So maybe Toronto going to try to take some of that away and make Dwight Howard try to beat them tonight.
The 2 games last year that Toronto won, Howard had 40 and 35 in terms of scoring in those games. Toronto won both of those. So Triano said that single coverage tonight, we're going to guard the perimeter, and we're going to go one-on-one against Dwight Howard, make him be a selfish player, and hopefully make him beat us individually. Because if he's selfish and he's trying to score, that means the ball's not moving, they're not going to their strength, which is the 3-point shooting. And that could play well for Toronto. The other thing he said...
You got fouls to give, too.
Fouls to give, and he said, we might try and go small on him at times just to pester him a little bit, just get a guy in his face, and then, just to annoy him a little bit like we did last year with Joey Graham. We had success last year putting Joey on him just for short stretches. And I said to Jay, is your Joey this year? I guess the only guy I could think of, would it be Antoine Wright? He said, absolutely. So don't be surprised if you see just for small stretches tonight, Antoine Wright on Dwight Howard.
Okay, last thing before we go, I know you're all dying to hear. Jose Calderon said he felt fine. As Eric said, I had a chance to talk to him while Eric was talking to Jay. That's how we double team and split it up at practice. and you can hear that. Jose expects to play tonight. He'll be ready to go. So the Raptors kind of getting healthy and maybe getting their full team back, and it's a good time to do it. Again, we keep harkening back to it. This was the point a few seasons ago where the team really started to get going after the tough part of the schedule. Maybe it starts.
All right, it's lunchtime. I've got a chicken parm sub sandwich sitting just off camera.
You can't smell it.
It's not my Alice Fazzuli's chicken parm, but a chicken parm sandwich. I'm ready to roll. So we got to end this, Jonesy.
All right, folks. We'll see you tonight. 7 o'clock start on the Fan 590.